that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I gotta get this on camera. No. Hey everybody, welcome to the Marino Show. I'm your host, David Marino, and today I'm speaking to the owner of perhaps one of the most famous diners in horror movie history. I'm talking about the Blairstown Diner in Blairstown, New Jersey. And those of you who are horror fans know that a scene from Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th, was shot right there inside the diner. And 46 years later, people are still showing up to visit, and along with other filming locations in the Blairstown area. But Mike Rumsey, the owner of the diner, joins me now. Mike, thank you so much for talking to me today. I'm excited to speak to you.
Thanks, David. I'm excited to talk to you also.
Well, Mike, first of all, working there that this is a huge, location for people across the world, really, not just the country. They come there to visit because of Friday the 13th. But I want to start with you and how you became the owner of the Blairstown Diner and how you even started working there. How did that all transpire for you?
So it all started, COVID happened, of course. I was selling food for a large food service company, and I was the food service salesperson for the diner. And the owner at the present time, Gary, I met him. We had a pretty good relationship, and during the middle of COVID, he said, "Well, why don't you come run the diner?" Because I lost like half of my business working for food service, with restaurants closing and stuff like that. So I started working at the diner, help part time, and then slowly, gradually went into being a manager of the place and started bringing in more horror fans, catering to them a little bit more. And then Gary basically said, well, and that was a year and a half ago, that he was going to move to Florida. He's going to build a house down there, and it's all you. And that's how it pretty much was born, that I took over the diner.
So you just mentioned that one of the things that you did was sort of expand the, I guess, programming when it came to some of the events and such. Obviously, Friday the 13th is the big draw, but how did you come in and restructure or just add or change some of what was already going on at the diner, if it even was at that point?
It was Friday the 13th. The fans would come out. It would be a big party, basically. They sold some shirts, some sweatshirts, and stuff like that. I pretty much we're up to two events a month now. Um, there's tons of memorabilia, from keychains to hot sauce to hats and sweatshirts. There's tons of stuff now. So every day, basically, a Friday the 13th fan walks through the door to see the place. It's pretty cool now.
And you've expanded beyond just Friday the 13th. I've seen on the social media channel, especially on Instagram, that you all also cater to other horror movie fans. It's obviously a great location to get the conversation started about horror movies. But you've had other actors from other franchises, other films that are related to horror come there as well, right? Is that something that was an idea of yours, or how did that come to be?
Yeah, it was an idea of mine. I was always trying to incorporate more than just Friday the 13th into the diner. And this upcoming event in July 18th, where we're incorporating a lot more horror movies itself. Maximum Overdrive, the truck, the Green Goblin will be there. Um, we have a couple other people from other movies, that are fan made movies and stuff like that. Also, some Freddy, and we try to incorporate it as much as possible. Other movies, not just the diner, but the diner's known for Friday the 13th, of course. You can't substitute that at all.
Now, are you from that area, or how do you live in Blairstown, and how long have you been in that area if you have?
So I live in Blairstown now, but I grew up in one town over, Stillwater. It's like 15 minutes, not even 10 minutes away from the diner. And the movie was filmed when I was like 6 years old. So I don't remember it going on. I remember hearing about it, but I didn't know anything about it though. So
When you started working there and ultimately became, the owner, had you before you started, working there, you said through COVID, you transitioned into to managing and owning. What was your, experience with horror, specifically Friday the 13th? Had you seen it at that point? Are you a horror movie fan? Was that even something that was in your world?
I'm a movie fan. How's that? I've learned to watch horror movies now. I never did before, but yes, I did see Friday the 13th probably. Uh, I was like 15, maybe 16 years old. I remember seeing it. I've watched it now probably 15, 20 times, so very familiar with it now. I've watched most of the movies. I don't think I've seen every single one of them, but I've watched most of them now. So
And there's a new series coming out later this year, which I saw that you all are going to have a viewing party, right? Can you talk a little about
yes,
that?
yep, we are. Viewing party is going to be on the day it comes out, October 15th. We don't have the time yet, but we're going to be selling tickets at the uh, our concert that's going to be coming up July 18th at 5 o'clock. You can buy tickets for the viewing party. We kind of want to have our loyal fans have access to the tickets first. So if they're at the concert, they'll be able to buy them, then come to the viewing party. And then I'm in the process of securing actors from the show itself. We have two so far, and then we have another surprise that I just got the beginning of this week that a lot of fans are going to be excited about. So I can't divulge that one yet.
So you mentioned that, you have a lot of fans that come through there. You obviously know your customer base. You have people that you probably see every week, maybe every day, every other day. Would you say that I know that people come and visit from far and wide, but your customer base, are there just people that, I mean, they're not all horror fans, but do you have those specific horror fans in Blairstown or around that area that come frequently because it is, the place where one of the scenes was shot for Friday the 13th? Is that common?
Yes. I would probably say there's probably 20 to 50 that live local. They come to the diner every Friday the 13th, every event we have. They live close. They also come to the diner on a regular basis too, but they also don't miss any of the events. So
Well, what has it been like for you, obviously being part of the community there, living there, and also getting to know all these people through this film that has kind of been a bond, I guess, for the fans, but also for just other people that come to the diner not because of the relation to the film, because they like going to the diner. And for you living there, is it is it interesting to have that experience? Because I would imagine that that's a lot different than owning or managing any other diner that has no relation to a horror film. So for you, how has that impacted, I guess, your work life or your life in general, especially living in the community there?
it doesn't really affect it. I mean, I work another job still during the day. I still run the diner. I have good people that work underneath me that run the diner when I'm not there. I'm still in sales. I just don't sell food anymore. So as for local people that come in the diner, they're always wondering what I'm up to next, and they all watch Facebook, they all watch Instagram, and they're like, okay, what's the new event coming on? And like we're working on right now for August. Our Jason is single, and he we're gonna do a dating game show. Who wants to date Jason Voorhees? So that's what we're working on right now for August. So try to come up with new ideas, stuff that's fun. We do a movie night for all the fan films. We do that once a month. Um, It's it's I tell everybody it's my fun job is basically what it comes down to. So
So you have another job that you do throughout the day, and then after
yep,
that you get off and you go work there, right? Through the
yep,
evening.
correct.
Um, so you're very busy, and I assuming that a lot of your energy is probably putting on events and organizing, because I know event organizing is a tedious job. There's a lot of work in addition to you already managing. What would you say, and owning the diner, I should say, what would you say has been for you one of the perks of owning this diner? Do you enjoy the event planning? Do you have others helping you? What is it about that job that just kind of brings you joy every day?
Every day I pretty much am in contact with fans on Facebook and Instagram. They appreciate the diner. They tell me how good it is, from the food to everything that we do. That's the fun part about it. I do all social media myself. I do all the event planning. I have a small little team, like the Jason that comes to the diner for my events. Brian, he's pretty much helped me. Brian, South Jersey Jason, he's very big in the horror community. He helps me with everything. He keeps me informed of stuff I don't know about Friday the 13th, because I'll tell you the first thing, I don't know everything. I don't know everybody's name. I don't know all that stuff. And he's like, we should try getting this actor. I'm like, all right, so let's try reaching out to him. And the diner's kind of like an actor in itself. I find that it brings people in. Friday the 13th, there's a line out the door around the building because everybody wants to come to the diner. And I try telling agents for actors the same thing. You guys might have the actors, but we have the diner, and nobody else can have that. You can go to a horror con or whatever in another location, but it's different when you have actors at the diner itself.
Well, the diner is the star, right? I mean, that's what brings
Correct.
everybody out.
Yep. Very.
So you said there's a line out the door on Friday the 13th. On every Friday the 13th, do you all do anything special on those days? What happens on Friday the 13th at the Blairstown Diner?
We take care of the fans that day. I don't. We have done stuff in the past on that day. It just gets too much though, because it's Friday the 13th plus an event on top of each other, and it can get 2 hours and just waiting in line just to get into the diner. So it's better to have it just as Friday the 13th. I've had a couple Jasons that say, "Oh, let me come out to November Friday the 13th." I'm like, just mixing the two doesn't work too well. So it's better to have another event. Like we have a big one going to be coming up in October. We're working on a hayride, and I'm working on some actors right now for that. That's going to be a pretty good one. So
The diner itself opened in 1949, so it's been a staple in the community. So, you know, obviously it's a tourist attraction, but at the same time, there's a historic element too, right? Because it is a flashback to those diners back in the 40s and the 50s. So, um, what kind of history does it have there in Blairstown? And do you know anything about the history of the diner?
well, it's been remodeled a couple times. The diner itself, when Friday the 13th was filmed, it was only the car in the front. They cooked in the front. There was two doors on it. Now there's only one. The counter's been moved. It actually was farther down on the other side of the building, and they swung it around when they did a remodel. So it's still the same counter, still the same stools. It's just in a different place. So they've changed a lot of that. There's a lot of history to it that I learn every day. I mean, everything in Blairstown is kind of changed from when things were built in 1949. Like John Blair, he had the train that came through town. That's pretty much started everything, and then we have Blair Academy, which is a pretty esteemed high school that in town, and he started that. It's there's a lot of history that's in Blairstown itself, besides just the diner. But the diner has been around since 1949, so there's a lot of history there included.
I know people come from all over. Have there been any fan stories that have stood out to you, or anybody that's come to visit that has really stood out, or even based on how far they came?
So what stood out to me with the fandom, we have a map that's on the wall, and we have everybody that comes in signs it. It's only a map of the United States. Well, people started on the ocean around the United States, filling where they're actually from, and now it's completely full. It's like Australia and Ireland and Russia, and it's amazing where the people have come from. So
From a business point of view, though, this is great for business, not just for the diner, but the film connection. Obviously, it's also great for tourism throughout the city. So, how do you feel just being able to, obviously people come there, they visit, they patron your business, but this is also a great thing for tourism in the community in general. I've never been to Blairstown. I know it's not a large, city. However, it is on the map for horror fans. And how does it feel seeing fans come in, not just visiting your place, but when they're in town? I'm sure they do visit other businesses, they go to other places where the film was shot. How has that kind of manifested itself, and how does that feel for you being a resident, just knowing that there is money that's also being poured into the community in general?
yeah, I'll give you an example of Friday the 13th. It's kind of like rush hour traffic in on downtown Blairstown, and we never have traffic like that. It looks like New York City, basically. People parking everywhere. Intersections are blocked. Our one traffic light gets jammed. It's kind of funny, but yeah, the other businesses in town, um, everybody kind of deals with it because they know what kind of business it comes in. The gas stations, the other restaurants, the markets in town. It's good exposure for them at the same time, correct?
So how do you balance it all? You have, your other job, you have the event planning. Um, beyond that, owning a business is also another layer to that. But you have the added work of really catering to the fans and putting on events. And so, how do you, if there is a balance, how do you do that, and what keeps fueling you every day to do all the things?
As little sleep as possible. How's that? I'm up till sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing social media, posting stuff. I'm scheduling stuff. I wake up in the morning. I'm answering stuff before I go to my other job. Um, when I take lunch, I'll answer any kind of questions and stuff like that. And at the same time, I'm on the road all the time, so it's not like it's an easy job. My other one, I'm visiting customers and such like that. So, and then when I get to the diner at night, I'm doing all the work that's got to be done there, and I'm usually leaving there like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then I come home and I start social media all over again and figuring out, checking like events, what I got to plan, what I got to do. Weekends are pretty valuable for that. I don't work anything but the diner on the weekends, so that gives me a pretty good, I'd say, 15 hours a day just dedicated to the diner on Saturdays and Sundays. So it helps.
Has there been, I don't know if you're a celebrity obsessed person or not, but has there been anybody that's come in that is a celebrity, whether they're from the film or not, that has kind of surprised you, or whether there's somebody that you met that you thought, oh, that's really cool, that was a cool experience?
Yeah, I've met some people that have had their kids at Blair Academy before, since it's such a big famous school, and they've come into the diner. And the biggest celebrity that I met that came into the diner was, I can't even think of his name right now. He was from The Mask. He was the bad guy that puts the mask on from Jim Carrey.
Oh,
He actually just passed away not too long ago.
let me see. Let me look him up. See who that is.
I think his name was Damien in the movie.
Oh, Dorian Peter Green.
Peter Green, yeah, correct. I met him. He has a relative that lives close to the diner, and he's been into the diner a bunch of times. So,
Have you met, I know you've met actors obviously from the
oh
various
yeah, yep,
films that have been there. Um, have you met any filmmakers that are associated with the film? Have any of them visited the diner while you've been there?
I have. Yep, I have. I had. There's a bunch of them that I have met, not just from the movie itself, but also fan films and stuff. The diner is always people are coming to look to film in it or take pictures or video or whatever, and we're open to that. We appreciate everybody coming in and taking notice of the diner. So if there's a movie that somebody wants to do, we're open to letting them come in. So
And the menu itself, all the food sounds awesome. I was looking at it and getting hungry, number one. But there are a few plates on the menu that are, named after characters in the film. I know Alice is one of them, of course, Jason. Can you give me like a few that are on the menu, or what are some popular, menu items related to the film and also not related to the film? What do people love to come and eat when they come to the diner?
I say the number one item that's on the menu is the slasher burger. That's the item that everybody wants to get. The most of the names that are on the menu now, we used to do it for Friday the 13th. Now we incorporate it in the regular menu. Like Steve Cristy is a buffalo chicken wrap, and there's a bunch of new things. Like Alice is a depends on where you are in New Jersey, Taylor ham or pork roll, egg and cheese. That's the Alice.
What's the slasher? What's on the slasher burger?
So on the slasher it's a burger, and it's a egg over hard, and then with cheese and on top of that. So
Awesome. That's cool that you actually, have, menu items also related to the film. Is there anything, I know you said the counter is the same. Is there any sort of memorabilia aside from the things that you sell that's on display at the diner that is, was either in the film or closely related to the film?
besides the stool and the counter and the diner itself, that's pretty much
That's the
all that's
thing, right?
left.
That's why people
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. The everybody used to think like the salt and pepper shakers and the bakery containers are all the same, but you can still buy them in places. So
Okay, I have to ask this
you,
because you just mentioned salt and pepper shakers. Do people steal things from like the
yes,
table? I was gonna,
they do.
yeah.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make sense to me because I bought them on Amazon last week. So what's the big deal about a salt and pepper shaker? So that's the funny part.
It's because they can say, I took this from the restaurant when I
Yeah, I
was eating
guess.
there, I guess.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
The more I talk about it, though, the more salt and pepper shakers are going to disappear. So
Yeah. And that's money, y'all. That's money that goes out the
yeah,
window. So let's
exactly.
keep that in mind. Let's support Mike and buy some merchandise there instead of just taking it. Um, how do you think, when did you actually start working there?
uh, 2020, I think it
Okay,
was.
it was during
Yeah,
COVID, around COVID, as you
yeah.
mentioned.
It was during COVID. Yep. The diner was closed for the beginning of COVID, and then I opened it up slowly, blocking off a booth, every other booth, and we had a tent outside in the beginning. So a lot of stuff gradually opening when during COVID, and then we picked things back up where we were.
So because you were working in the food industry and sales, um, how long have you known of, I mean, you grew up, you said, nearby in a city over, but so
Hmm.
your history with the restaurant or the diner itself has been longer than that because you were one of the, I guess you would go visit, right? Food delivery, or was that part of your
Yeah,
route?
yeah, that was one of my customers that I took care of. Correct.
Got it.
And I went there every week, took their order. I knew about what happened at the diner. I knew Blairstown, the movie was filmed, but I didn't know how much it was followed. I was never there for Friday the 13th and before I ran the diner, to be honest. So,
Got it. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, I think that it feels like, and you may not be connected to this, but just in terms of social media and horror conventions and those becoming so huge now, as social media has grown, I always imagined that there were people that were coming out to the diner to visit even before any of that. But I feel like now, I don't know if you see this. Are you seeing like younger and younger fans also taking, a liking to the film and coming to visit maybe with their parents or grandparents at this point because the film is, 46 years old? I mean, have you seen a diverse group of fans ranging in age, that come to the diner?
Yeah, definitely. I see young, I see old. I can see who comes on our website, and it's not just 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds. It's 20-year-olds. And I was actually just talking to a customer tonight about tattoos, and her kid is like 22, I think she told me, and he had Jason on his arm. So there's always fans of Friday the 13th, no matter what your age is.
So you've obviously, over the past several years have transformed and kind of taken it in a bigger direction in terms of events that are not just around Friday the 13th. Is there something that any future events or things that you would like to do that you haven't yet, or something that you'd like to even make bigger? I mean, what's the most, obviously Friday the 13th, probably the most popular day, but in terms of events, what seem to be the things that are the most popular, or is there something too that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
So my goal at some point to get to the diner, either in an event or a Friday the 13th. I'm told that he doesn't do horror cons. He doesn't recognize Friday the 13th that much. Is to have Kevin Bacon at the diner itself. So that's my goal, my personal goal. So if there's any fans out there that know Kevin Bacon and can get him to come to the diner, then please be in touch with me. So that's the plan.
That is true. I mean, that film was a springboard for his career. It wasn't, maybe 4 years later when Footloose came out, and that was really what made him popular who he is today. But I think that would be awesome. Can you imagine the crowd that you would have to go see him at the diner?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be amazing.
So yeah, so that's my goal.
What other events would you say have been pretty popular in the past that you've done and that you continue to put on?
Anything to do with probably the biggest one was either when we had Ari there last June.
Lehman?
No, two, yeah, Ari Lehman. He's going to be here in July again with his band, First Jason. And he was 2 years ago in June 2024. He was at the diner. We had him, and he played then. He was a pretty good success. And then last October, we had a hayride haunted house that was mobile that came in, and we actually did the walk around Main Street where she walks down through the tunnels and stuff. We had the hayride do the same thing. So, and we redid that this year. It's going to be in October again this year. So that was a pretty big hit. So.
Is there anything else that you want to add or anything else that you'd like to talk about that I haven't mentioned?
No, just come visit, and we're always welcome to the fans. We enjoy seeing them. I enjoy meeting them and them telling the story where they came from. I mean, I'll have somebody come in the diner at 7 o'clock at night and say they just drove from Massachusetts just to come see the diner and eat dinner.